We're tracking the search for two escapees who jumped out of a jailer's moving car.
It is the eve of the Sweet 16. I'm Amber Philpott in Cleveland, ready with all the fans to see their cats.
A school bus crash sends several preschoolers to the hospital, why investigators believe another vehicle is responsible.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 5.
Good afternoon. An intense search going on right now for two inmates who escaped from a jailer.
Authorities say that Dallas Trent and John Trent jumped from the jailer's moving car while being transported from Wolfe County to the Three Forks Regional Jail in Lee County this afternoon. The cousins were in jail on robbery charges. Our Jordan Valines is in Lee County tracking the search in our top story at 5.
A Kentucky State Police helicopter just landed here near the intersection of Highway 498 and Kentucky 11. That's where two inmates are believed to have escaped earlier this afternoon on their way to jail. We're told that the jailer was transporting 19-year-old Dallas Trent and his cousin, 23-year-old John Trent, back to Three Forks Detention Center, when suddenly a truck slowed down in front of the transport vehicle, causing them to slow down. And that's when we're told the two suspects jumped out of the car and ran down the hill. Now, we talked to a man who lives just a few yards away from where the escape took place in the Hopewell community, and he says the terrain around here isn't easy to navigate, and he expects that unless the two men are familiar with this area, they're not going to be able to get too far on foot.
But it does. My neighbor called me, and they're a little nervous, and because they think the same thing I do. When dark falls, it's when these people are going to be on the move, you know. So we just have to watch, and hopefully we can see them, and we'll give them some lead.
So you're kind of going to maybe sleep with one eye open tonight?
Right, with the pistol under the pillow.
Right now, emergency officials are also preventing any cars from going down Highway 498 because that's the last place that the two men were seen. In Lee County, Jordan Valines, WKYT.
The two inmates were on their way back from a hearing at the Wolfe County Courthouse when they escaped. Both are charged with robbing a Campton Shell station at gunpoint earlier this month. It has been a beautiful spring day out there, but the nice weather, Jennifer, it's not sticking around.
It's gorgeous today, but we have storms, a huge temperature drop, maybe even a snowflake or two. WKYT Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey is tracking all the changes. But Chris, what a great day.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. That warm front we were tracking yesterday, guys, that was kind of stuck between Berea and London, southern Kentucky hogging all the warm temperatures. Well, that warm front is now lifting well to the north of the Bluegrass State, and look at the temperature difference it is making across Kentucky. Everyone except the far north around Covington into the 70s this afternoon, and in some cases we're deep into the upper 70s, flirting with 80 on a few car thermometers here across southern and southeastern Kentucky. 40 in Chicago. That's the colder air, at least some of it, that we're going to get in on over the next couple of days. Up close and personal across central and eastern Kentucky, 73 into Mount Sterling, Moorhead at 72, 73 also showing up into Richmond, but 76 degrees London and Jackson with plenty of partly sunny skies. Now with a little cloud cover bubbling up, nothing coming from the skies on Live First Alert Defender. All is calm and quiet. Throw the clouds and temperatures into the mix, and you notice those clouds are beginning to pick up a little bit across parts of southern and southeastern Kentucky. Showers and thunderstorms. This is the area we're watching for severe weather tonight. Some of that may actually try to sneak into far western Kentucky, but the overall severe weather threat around here later tonight into tomorrow is very, very low. Focus of the forecast when I come back in about 10 minutes will be on the major temperature drop that is showing up for your Thursday. I've got spring and winter combined in a 12-hour period. We'll break it all down for you just ahead.
Thanks, Chris. The Wildcats continue their march to the Final Four tomorrow.
UK facing West Virginia in the Sweet 16. They arrived in Cleveland to start getting ready for that matchup. Our Amber Philpott and Rob Bromley are also there live to show us all the excitement surrounding tomorrow's game. Hello, Cleveland.
Well, hello to you back in the Bluegrass, and you are right about the excitement building here. I've talked to fans already in town, fans of the Big Blue Nation from Pikeville, Kentucky, Virginia, and of course this area of Ohio, and everyone is talking about this game and this matchup. These are two programs that know each other really well, and the coaches know each other really well.
Cal and Bob Huggins, they go way back. Cal made sure to point out today that Huggy was older. But they do. They are good friends, and as you said, Amber, the excitement is building here in Cleveland as we get ready for this Midwest Regional semifinal. They call it the Sweet 16, and again, it is Kentucky against West Virginia. They met in the NCAA tournament in 2010. The Mountaineers denied the Cats a Final Four trip. The next year, the UK sent West Virginia home. Now again, it's the Cats and the Mountaineers. The coaches, John Calipari, Bob Huggins, they have a lot of respect for each other.
Cal is a very diverse guy, and I think he's kept things, I think, in a very good perspective. He's done he's a great family guy. He's been a good friend.
But his teams, they play, they compete, they play to win. They don't have any fear. I've always respected that.
Cal and Bob Huggins, again, it's the second game, the late game here tomorrow night as Kentucky meets West Virginia Midwest Regional Semifinal. We will preview it with a half-hour special tomorrow at 6:30 immediately following the news. Coming up in sports at about 5:50, we'll hear from the players and hear what they have to say about this matchup, Kentucky and West Virginia.
A lot of the fans in town today got to see West Virginia take the floor, so they got to size them up today. Of course, Cleveland, it is a city that is known for hosting huge sporting events, and this weekend is going to be no different. I talked to a tourism official yesterday from here in Cleveland. They say this basketball weekend expected to bring in about $5 to $10 million, but today, those of the Big Blue Nation didn't have to spend $1 to see their Cats. When your favorite team is 36-0 and just happens to be UK, fans will do just about anything to see them in action. Today, it was about getting the best seat in the house just for a shoot-around. Fans say it's worth taking the day just to see a potentially history-making team.
It's very exciting. Actually, we don't have tickets for tomorrow. That's why we're here today to watch the practice. We're still working on getting tickets, though.
Oh, it's been really great. I mean, they are a phenomenal team. It's nice to see a team concept out there running around on the court.
Yesterday, we left home at 6:30 in the afternoon. We got here around 2:30 this morning. Slept about 4 hours, got up, got ready, and came and stood in line.
Fans have no shortage of things to do here in Cleveland as they wait for that late game tomorrow night, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. My favorite in town, just a short drive away, the Christmas house from the Christmas store. You can go see that. So folks can mill around, do some things. But either way, if you are in town this weekend, you're going to see some really good basketball all the way around.
Well, that's for sure. And as I said, we'll hear from the players. We'll hear from Carl Towns, Aaron Harrison. They were talking pretty confidently here earlier today. Two guys have been playing really well.
That's what we like to hear. That is the story from here in Cleveland. Back to you.
Amber and Rob, thank you. Look forward to it. With every Wildcat win, post-game celebrations get closer to perhaps turning into their own version of March Madness.
WKYT's Garrett Weimer shows us how Lexington firefighters are working to help keep UK students safe before those celebrations even start.
State Street here is one of those places that has gotten a bit of a reputation for wild celebrations after big Cats wins, and now the fire department here is taking precautions to help make sure things stay safe. 8,000 flyers, but one goal, making sure fans celebrate responsibly. That means things like moving their cars, not breaking glass, and wearing shoes, not sandals. Firefighters say this is the first time they've passed out the flyers targeting off-campus student housing. They say they've learned some lessons from previous year's celebrations.
We're trying to get out in front of the celebrations and just remind people to some simple tips they can take to keep themselves safe, because we don't want to see anyone injured. We want people to be happy and celebrate the Cats this year, but we want them just to stay safe when they do it.
The fire department is also asking students who live here to either get rid of or move any furniture that they may have outside, a step that could make it harder to light certain items on fire, if not remove the temptation to do so. In Lexington, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
Firefighters concentrated on State Street and other nearby areas, as well as houses along Woodland Avenue. That's where they say they've noticed many of the celebrations starting.
A man remains in critical condition at UK Hospital following a house fire. He suffered life-threatening burns when the home on Woodbine Drive caught fire Monday. The man lived there with his father, who wasn't hurt. Police say they found a drug lab in the home. Investigators have not said what started the fire. A group of preschoolers ended up in the hospital this morning after their school bus crashed in a ditch. It happened on Johnson Hollow Road in the Gray community of Knox County. As WKYT's Phil Pendleton shows us, police are questioning if another driver forced that bus off the road.
The sight of a school bus teetering off the side of the road isn't something anyone would want to see, especially knowing the passengers were only 4 and 5 years old.
All the kids was fine. They was just shook up a little bit.
The police are questioning how this happened. The bus on its way to a preschool through the Knox County Community Action Program had trouble sharing the road with an oncoming car.
And she got over because he was taking up the whole road and dropped the wheel off the road, and it just gradually pulled her into the ditch.
Another bus was called to bring the students here to Baptist Regional. We're told that was mainly for observation. None of the students had any visible injuries. And hospital officials did say that several hours after the crash, several of the students were still being treated in the emergency room, but that all were considered stable. Police, meanwhile, are trying to find the car that they say may have unintentionally caused the crash.
The other vehicle had no idea that she had ran into the ditch, kept going.
Children are said to be 3 little boys and a little girl. Several parents were seen with the children, said they were okay, but they were told not to discuss the situation further.
It scared all 4 of them.
Police say the bus driver, a substitute driver, did an excellent job in keeping the bus from flipping over. In Knox County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Police say they want to question the other driver, but they're not sure if any charges will be filed.
The Army plans to court-martial former prisoner of war Bo Bergdahl. The charges he'll face coming up on WKYT News at 5.
A new report finding that more teenagers than ever before are involved in distracted driving crashes. We'll take a closer look at the numbers in Better Living.
Then a crime alert for homeowners in one central Kentucky community. The warning about a string of break-ins on WKYT News at 5:30.